I was feeling down, and I left that interview with the career counselor, picked up my papers, and went back to my best friend Jason's house where I was living at the time. I sat down on the sofa and I turned on the TV and I saw this Army commercial. Be all you can be, right? Give us a little bit of your time, we'll give you $25,000 for college, and we also have the Army College Fund, which was like total of $50,000. I'm like, yes, I've got it. So I said, all right, I'm gonna do 2 years in the Army. I'm gonna get my $50,000. 2 years later, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go to this school. I'm gonna pay them their money. I'm gonna be back on track, right? Wrong. I went to go meet with the recruiter. So you sit down with the recruiter, you take your test, kind of pick a direction that you want to go, and then after you meet with the recruiter, you go meet with the career counselor. And this is where things changed for me. So I went down there and he said to me, he says, Mr. Bann, I've got some good news for you. The Army wants you. I was like, good, all right, I'm ready to do this. And he says, I understand that you want to be an Army medic. I was like, yep, I want to be an Army medic. I'm going to do my time. I'm going to get all my training and certifications. I'm going to leave the Army and I'm going to go back and I'm going to be a firefighter. That's what I'm going to do. And he goes, well, I've got some bad news for you. I said, oh God, what is it now? He says, well, with your test scores, you don't qualify to be an Army medic. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, the recruiter said my test scores were great. He says, well, the Army has other needs for people with your test scores. If you score in this area, we have these jobs for you. If you score below this area, we have these jobs for you. So you scored too high to be an Army medic. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. Why can't I do this? I said, okay, I can't be an Army medic, but I'll still get my money and I'll still be able to go, to paramedic school, and I'll still be on track. And it's only 2 years. I'll be, almost 20 years old. I'll still be young, and I'll still make my goal, right? I said, okay, what do you got for me? He says, you can be military intelligence, or you can be Army aviation. So I'm weighing this, and I'm thinking, God, this is not what I want to do. None of these things are like appealing to me. But it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. I said, okay. I pushed the military intelligence aside. It was too risky. Like at that time, I didn't have great confidence in myself. And if I became a linguist, he explained to me that if I went that route, I would go to the language school, and if I didn't pass, then I would be pushed out, and I would just be, they call needs of the Army. They can basically move you anywhere. I was like, nope, I want a guarantee. So he says, okay, Army aviation. Which platform do you want to work on? So I went and I selected what I wanted to do, which was Apaches. That's what I did, Apache attack helicopter. I said, okay, I want to do that. It's okay, so 2 years, got my plan in place, and he dropped another bomb on me. He says, Mr. Bann, you can be, Army aviation, you can work with Apache helicopters, but it's a 6-year commitment. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening to me? Like all my plans, everything that I have is just slowly unraveling. I said, okay, so I just did the math in my head. I said, okay, if I sign up now, I get to basic training, I get through all my courses and start doing my time, I'll be 24. I was like, okay, what are the odds of me being picked up at 24? I'm still good, I'm still young, I'll still be in good shape coming out of my training. I said, okay, fine, I'm gonna do that, and I'm still chasing my dream to be a firefighter. And I went through basic training. I said, I want to get out of here as soon as I can. And he says, well, for Army aviation, we tend to send the people, to Fort Jackson. It's still basic training, but it's not, you're going to be with more people like what you're going to do. I said, no, I want to start now. Give me the basic training. He says, okay, we have a class date coming up. It's like in 2 weeks. It's in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I was like, oh my, Fort Sill, okay. Fort Sill, Oklahoma, here I come, right? I show up there, and I am with, it's a field artillery like base. Everybody that goes through basic training there, they finish basic training, they carry their bags down the street, and then they start their field artillery training, right? So, you know, you don't ride buses. They put you in the back of cattle cars, and they put so many people in. Anyway, they get you all out, and they line you up, and they put you in your bay, and they start asking everybody what they're there for, right? And they finally get to me, and they said, Private Bann, what the hell are you doing here, right? You know, not such a kind way of saying it, but they put it that way. I said, I'm here to go through basic training. Okay, you're here, and everybody else is there, field artillery. I managed to make it through that course. Again, I worked hard, and I happened to graduate Soldier of the Cycle out of everybody there. Graduated top of my class in basic training. And when it was time for me to leave, I was the only one that got on a bus that went to the airport to actually leave that base. So here I am, this Private Bann. He's, you know, just finished basic training. He shows up to his school, you know, being Army aviation, work on Apache helicopters. And I started at Fort Eustis, Virginia. Left there and took my first assignment in Fort Hood, Texas. I was in 2nd Armored Division. But all of my time there, I still had that dream of being a firefighter. And the work ethic that my parents had taught me still carried me forward through. It carried me, you know, that drive and stuff that pushed me to keep overcoming every obstacle, adversity that was put in my place. And I got to my unit, and I was like, you know, you meet with a counselor there. By the time I was already like 1.5 years into my commitment in the military, and they start trying to plan out what's your next step, right? I was like, no, this is just short term for me. While I'm here in the Army, you're gonna get 100% of me, but when I'm done, I'm leaving, you know. And I still carried that forward. And I did 3 years, in 2nd Armored Division, and then I came down on assignment. And here's where my view kind of on life started to take another direction. My first overseas assignment was in South Korea.